Here we're going to solve problem 24 on the 2020 AMC 8, which states a large square region is paved with n square gray square tiles, each measuring s inches on a side. A border d inches wide surrounds each tile. The figure below shows the case for n equals 3. When n equals 24, the 576 gray tiles cover 64% of the area of the large square region. What is the ratio d to s for this larger value of n? Here we have n square gray squares, each with a side length of s. Similarly, we have a bunch of white areas in between, each with width d. In this problem, we are given that n equals 24. From this, we know we have n squared, or 24 squared gray squares, each with area s squared. So the area of all of the gray squares is 24 squared times s squared, which can also be expressed as 24 times s whole squared. We also know that the total side length of the large white square is equal to 24s plus 25d, because there are 23 distances between each of the squares, plus the 2 distances on the side, so there are 25d distances between each of the squares and all of the borders. To show how there are n plus 1 d distances if there are n square gray square tiles, we can look at this diagram given in the problem. We see that there are 2 distances d between the gray squares and the borders, and there's also n minus 1 total d's in between the gray squares. Therefore, our total amount of d's is n minus 1 between the squares, plus the 2 at the borders, so there are total n plus 1 d's in this problem. Because n is 24 and there are n plus 1 d's, there are 24 plus 1, which is 25 d's in each length. Because the large shape is a square, we know that the total area is the side squared, so the total area is 24s plus 25d whole squared. We are given in the problem that the ratio of the area of the gray squares to the area of the whole square is equal to 64 over 100. Plugging in our expressions for each of these areas, we get that 24s squared over 24s plus 25d whole squared is equal to 64 over 100. And I'm going to leave it in this form so that we can do something in a little bit. What we can do here is take the square root of both sides. So we know 24s over 24s plus 25d is equal to 8 over 10 or 4 over 5. Cross multiplying, we know that 24s times 5 is equal to 4 times 24s plus 25d. Expanding, we get that 120s is equal to 96s plus 100d. Isolating s's and d's on separate sides of the equation, we get that 24s is equal to 100d. Therefore, d over s is equal to 24 over 100, which is equal to 6 over 25, which is our answer, or A is our answer.